Hi, my name is Dan Cunliffe, Managing Director of Pangea, and I'm very delighted to be joined today by David Hartwell, who is in the IoT team of Avnet. David, thanks so much for joining us at Utility Week Live. We're both here today because there's a lot of really interesting things going on, obviously, in the utility space, but I think mostly what we like is the fact that actually IoT plays such an important part in the in the utility space. What have you seen that's been quite interesting from your side?
Well, some of the things I've seen, I was a little bit alarmed actually to hear in some ways, is that a lot of the water companies are actually openly saying that they don't know where half of their meters are or what they're actually doing. And we're talking about the meters in the metering areas, which actually show all the flow of water through their system. And quite often these meters, they don't know how old they are, they don't know whether they've been calibrated, so they're really working blind quite a lot in the way that they understanding how their network works.
And isn't that like a real concern if you consider that the return on investment is one of the big things we're trying to drive? You know, I think when you speak to CIOs and various people who are trying to get their head around what IoT means for my business, that's one of the key things, is where do we get the return? And there's a clear case, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's really what utilities are in this state of flux at the moment. They're sort of stuck in a SCADA age, which is all hardwired, complex, big equipment
legacy.
That we've been used to, legacy stuff. And you know, at the other end, there's a whole SCADA division that look at all of that data and try and figure out what it's, and really not being able to present that in a way that's friendly to operations and maintenance guys. So what we've got really is a sort of break between what the equipment is telling people that it's doing and actually getting that information in a human readable form to the people who need that information. And I think that's what IoT is really democratizes the data.
Very true.
You know, so what happens now is you can go up to a website, anybody can go there, but you'll see, instead of just a whole stream of ones and zeros telling you what the data is coming out, you'll actually see maybe a traffic light system at the top. This is how my network's working. And at the bottom, I click on any point of the network. If I see something's in red, click on it to tell me, well, is anybody fixing it, or is it off, or what's happening to this pump station?
And where the integration comes is where you can actually bring some other systems together to maybe, you know, solve that problem. Say, oh, well, actually there is someone en route because I can see him coming, so you integrate that part, which is kind of where we're all trying to get in, creating an ecosystem, I suppose.
And I think it's hard for utilities to understand that that's actually available now. And that it's been, because they're so set on you know, a SCADA system takes a long time to develop and set up, and they feel that's the only way of getting eyes and ears on the data. But of course we in the IoT business know that that's not the case. And they're expecting a lot of cables, and yet actually we can do it all wirelessly.
Very true.
We can do battery operated sensors. So when I say to them, well, we can go into one of your pump stations that's got nothing, no SCADA, no nothing, so this is typically the private pumping stations, we can go in there and within a day you can have all of that data coming out.
Absolutely. It's frightening actually how simple it should be, but I guess that's one of the reasons why we're here. Education in IoT is still very important. Maybe touching on collaboration a little bit. Pangea and Avnet, we've been working probably closely for quite a while in terms of trying to demonstrate very, very sustainable and return on investment ideas for quite a few customers that we're looking to target and work with together on. One in particular which will come to fruition at some point in time is to do with construction and actually rental equipment that we're very interested in working on in the future. But other than that, I think we'll sign off from there. I'd like to say thanks so much for joining us, David. Thanks again for your time, and we will see you guys soon.